Good evening, and welcome to this edition of Labor Vision. I'm Bob Delaney, Executive Director of the Institute for Labor Studies and Research. Labor Vision, a production of the Institute, focuses on topics of importance and interest to working Rhode Islanders. We hope you enjoy this evening's edition.
I think it's critical that in this country, when workers are engaged in a struggle, that they know that they have support all over the country, because I think that inspires them, it keeps them strong, and it lets people understand the basic traditions and values of the labor movement, which is that an injury to one is an injury to all. We've got to stick together, we're a family, and it's very, very important to send that message out.
Well, I think people showed up because they're concerned about the workers all over this country that are taking it in the neck. Now they're coming after our rights, fundamental rights such as the right to bargain, the right to organize. It goes beyond the scope of economics. It goes right to the heart of the issue, whether working people have a right to say how their institutions are run, how the union is run, and those kinds of issues are really earth-shaking to us. We never would have ended child labor. We never would have ended 6-7 day work weeks, indentured servitude, if not for the labor movement and all the fights that we've had over the years. And we're not going to shy away from this one. We're here today to stand in solidarity with our sisters and brothers in Wisconsin, Ohio, all over this country, and we're certainly not going to let it happen here in Rhode Island.
We are here for our brothers and our sisters in Wisconsin who are facing their extinction. The governor of Wisconsin has declared war on public employees, and we're here to show them from across the country that that is not acceptable. Our message to be heard, that we stand with them as one. Demonstrations such as this are making a difference, and that he believes the public is finally hearing the truth. So I want to thank you all, brothers and sisters. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for standing up, and I want to thank you all for being here.
First of all, I know that the Wisconsin workers can beat back this attack. I know that they're going to bring the governor to the bargaining table to negotiate rather than have the governor dictate. And I know that this will help unions immeasurably. It will just show the rest of American people who already believe in us that we are here to stay, and that we are the middle class, and that we represent their interests better than anyone else.
Labor community in Rhode Island coming together to support our brothers and sisters in Wisconsin and Ohio, Indiana, and every state where they're trying to take away collective bargaining rights and taking away the rights of workers to organize, to have pensions and negotiate their benefits and salaries, etc. So this is really a fight about workers in the middle class.
We were here to demand that we actually have a say over, our voices are counted as, agents in this society, that we not only deserve political voice in the society, in the political structure, but we have to have an economic say, through our unions, through the really only voice that working class people have that's under attack right now. And we're no longer going to allow for the type of divide and conquer that has confused people and pitted communities against unions, because we know working class communities need unions. They've been under attack for a long time. And right now we're in the middle of an upsurge where we see the type of unity that we need to push back the greed and push back the inequality that has gone on for too long in this country. I mean, like today you saw an intergenerational group of people of all genders, of all sexual orientations. You saw people that saw that really an injury to one is an injury to all. This is a rallying call. Enough is enough. We're not going to allow business as usual for a few people to speak on behalf of whole states. Governors trying to attack working families, our fundamental rights, that people have died in this country, sacrificed their lives to be able to have negotiating power, as workers. And people are fed up, and we're gonna fight. We're not gonna allow for those attacks to continue, and we're gonna fight back.
We are here. Scott Walker of Wisconsin is threatening 6,000 layoffs and furloughs without negotiating. He's demanding unions vote annually to stay organized. And he states that pay increases will only happen if the Consumer Price Index says so. We do not live in a dictatorship. This now more than ever emphasizes the need of unions to grow and to become stronger. Strength is in numbers, and without that, we will have nothing. Sisters and brothers, we're here for solidarity. We will not sit idly on the sidelines while Wall Street and corporate America dictate to the politicians with their money, power, greed, and lack of morale and ethical values. We are here in solidarity to tell them we will not go down without a fight. Unions are here to stay. Evidence shows that as union members have decreased, so too has the economy. Without the middle class, there is no America. Why are we here today? Solidarity, solidarity, solidarity. Solidarity, 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 solidarity. There are some that say, well, rather there are those that say that unions are to blame for ruining America. We say unions make America. Why are we here today? Why are we here today? We'll be here today, we'll be here tomorrow, and you can heckle me all you want. We're here in solidarity. Thank you all so much. I love you all, and we stand tall for workers' rights all across the United States. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Frank Flynn from the Rhode Island Federation of Teachers and Health Professionals. He is the president, and I'm glad that he was able to make it here and speak on behalf of the teachers.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Ken. And thank you all for being here today. As president of the Rhode Island Federation of Teachers, I have to say I'm proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, my union brothers and sisters, as we denounce the terrible things that Governor Scott Walker is doing to workers' rights in the state of Wisconsin. And we need to support our brothers and sisters who work there. Whether we provide quality health care services, perform essential public services, ensure public safety, or educate our youth or young adults, this is very important work, and we must all stand together. We must never let anyone forget that organized labor is a hallmark of a successful democracy. In fact, it wasn't very long ago that organized labor broke the back of communism in Poland, and we must continue to remember that without organized labor, our society and our democracy cannot thrive. And remember, eliminating collective bargaining will not fix our economy. Creating jobs will. We must work together, our elected officials, the business sector, as well as community leaders, to point out solutions, not point fingers. And yes, these are extraordinarily difficult times that we're in right now, as a nation and our own state. And we can only survive by cooperation, not conflict. As public employees, let's stand together with all workers in this great country and move our agenda forward. Be proud of the work that you do and be proud of your union. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to bring up the president of NEARI. That would be Larry Pirtle. Larry!
Well, first of all, let me thank Ken and Mike and all of Council 94 for showing up and putting this rally on today on behalf of workers all around the country. And I want you to know that the 12,000 members of NEA Rhode Island stand united with you to support our brothers and sisters in Wisconsin, Ohio, Indiana, New Jersey, in nearly half the states in this country where they want to take away collective bargaining. It is wrong, and we won't stand for it. Now, we're a little different right now here in Rhode Island because after 8 years of being trashed and bashed and blamed for everything, we now have a governor who understands that you work with the people and you work with unions. That's not understood in Wisconsin and around the country. You know, we have some Republican governors and legislatures around the country that want to divide the union between the private and public sector. Well, the answer is, you're not going to divide us. You can't divide us. And here in Rhode Island, we have Working Rhode Island and the AFL-CIO, and we're going to work together. The public sector is going to support the private sector for good jobs and good benefits, because that's what's going to make this economy go. And the private sector is going to turn around and support the public sector. We are all in this together. You know, they're trying to divide the public sector in Wisconsin, but the state police, the police and fire didn't buy it. They know exactly what's going on. And make no mistake, it is not about money, it is not about benefits, or this would have been resolved in Wisconsin already. It is about corporate greed and political power, and we're not going to stand for it. And I got a little message for the people out there who think that, and will be blogging tonight, oh, you know, Downey and Pirtle and Nee and the unions. Well, let me tell you something. You want to race to the bottom, then that's what we're going to get. Because we shouldn't be racing to the bottom. We should all be working to lift everybody up, both union and non-union. That's what will help small businesses, and that's what will help this economy. The message in Providence today is from Providence to Hartford, to Boston, to Springfield, to Burlington, to Montpelier, to Trenton, New Jersey, to Columbus, Ohio, and Madison, Wisconsin. The union is going to stand strong. We're standing for workers' rights, and we are not going to let anyone take away the last 50 years of collective bargaining. Stay strong.
Oh, brothers, oh! I think they're starting fights with themselves, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, this is a distraction. let's. All right.
Under witnesses that say he didn't do anything.
Larry, you got everyone riled up.
I didn't think I was that good.
Speaking of which, I want to bring out one thing. I want to thank all the police union officials and fire union officials that are here today. Thank you very much for coming out. We appreciate it. And we know it's hard out in Wisconsin because the governor tried to conquer and divide out there. But as Larry pointed out, it's not going to work. All right. For the next speaker, I have to take the microphone out. I'm sure most of you know who she is, but this isn't going to work. She's small in stature, big in heart, and even bigger in enthusiasm. State Vice President and President of Local 2448, Rhode Island Council 94, Lynn Loveday.
I think I'll stand on this stair. Can everybody see me? I have to step down. Can you move it closer to me?
We're not going to get your audio. Uh-oh.
Can everybody see me?
They can hear you.
Can everybody hear me? I've been told I don't really need a mic. Thank you all. Every one of you make a difference for being here. And I really appreciate the support for the folks in Wisconsin. I wanted to say that the public servants of the cities and the states did not cause the financial disaster that we are facing. We all worked hard for our bargaining rights. We've all worked hard for our benefits. One member came up to me tonight and said, my grandfather carried a sewing machine on his back to fight for these rights. We can't let anyone take them away. As it says, sorry guys, as it says on my t-shirt, we make Rhode Island happen. By the jobs we do. You people in Wisconsin make Wisconsin happen by the jobs you do. We are public servants. Today we come together to show our support. Good luck, brothers and sisters of Wisconsin.
Thank you, Lynn. Did everyone see her? Could everyone hear her? Thank you, Lynn. All right, for our next speaker, I was talking it over with George, and it's a lot of public sector employees here and a lot of public sector unions here. And George and I talked about it and said, you know what? And it was George's suggestion, we need to have a private sector union leader up here. So who better than from the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades representing the building trades, but Scott Duhamel.
Good afternoon. By the way, I apologize for the little incident earlier. There were building tradespeople involved. In our world, we call that part of the working day. You've all heard the somewhat ironic expression, is this the sign of the apocalypse? In Wisconsin, is this the sign of the apocalypse? No, it's apocalypse now. The Republican political playbook is easy to analyze. Take back what was rightfully bargained for, incite the middle class against the working class, new agenda in Wisconsin with clear plans to take this horrifying circus on the road, the kind of circus you don't want to pay for. Coming soon to a town or state near you, let's start by unceremoniously eradicating the rights and protections guaranteed by collective bargaining. Then what's next? Forgo overtime, extend the working week, bring back indentured servitude, bring back child labor? No, I have a solution, simple. Let's get some jobs. It can't happen there in Wisconsin, and it won't happen here in Rhode Island. The fight is on. We're all primed and ready. Let's stand together today in solidarity, real solidarity, and that goes beyond unions. That's working family solidarity. Let's walk away in, thank you. Let's walk away invigorated, refreshed, and fully prepared to fight the fight. We reverse the forces of the potential workers' rights apocalypse that's looming over our collective, strong and sturdy shoulders. Thank you.
All right, we have an addition to our, here he is. We have an addition to our program. Thankfully, he was able to be here with us. This is the president of Local 583, SEIU, Phil Keefe.
I want to thank you all for coming, and I especially want to thank Council 94 for organizing this event today. In our lifetime, this is probably the most difficult period that we will face as union organizers. It's interesting that in other parts of the world, people have come out to try to get people's rights, give them a decent wage, give them a decent benefit, and be able to provide for their family. In the Middle East, that's going on. Unfortunately, in Wisconsin, the governor doesn't feel that he needs to provide any of those services to his folks. He thinks that he can lay them off, put 6,000 people more on unemployment in Wisconsin, and that's the way to grow economy. I say that's voodoo. That's nonsense. This is a time that we need to create jobs, not take jobs and benefits away from working people. We need to create jobs that provide for the middle class. That's the class that grows the economy. And if we allow what's going on to Wisconsin to filter through the rest of the states, we're in a dismal path, a dismal path. So I say we stand together in solidarity with all our brothers and sisters, whether they're unionized or not, and advocate for good jobs, good benefits, and some financial security for our folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Hey, Phil couldn't be more right. If there's anything that represents the middle class, it's the union class. We are the middle class. Public employees are the middle class. All right, our last speaker, which I'm sure you're all happy about, but last but not least, the head, the president of the AFL-CIO here in Rhode Island. I think he needs no introduction, George Nee.
Thank you, Ken. Again, I want to give a special thanks to Mike Downey, President of Council 94, for their efforts to put this rally together. I think it goes beyond our expectations on such short notice. So let's give Mike and Council 94 a hand for this great effort. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters, for coming here today to show your support for the workers in Wisconsin, Indiana, and Ohio. What you've done today is shown the real spirit and value of the American labor movement and the Rhode Island labor movement. We're a family. We don't like it when someone gets picked on. We don't like it when someone gets trodden on, like they're trying to do. It's our obligation to speak up, and you've done that today. First of all, I'd also like to recognize Representative Bennett, Representative Walsh, Senator Miller, Representative Dickinson for their efforts by coming here today. Thank you. You know, there is a myth. There's a myth about this fight. And I guess it depends on which media you listen to. But some recent polling is showing that this effort by this governor is not working. Recent polling by the Greenberg Group has shown that 51% of the people in Wisconsin are not supporting the governor, and that 61% of the people support the labor movement out there. We're on the right side of this. You know what? This is really a struggle about freedom. It's not a struggle over how much people pay for their benefits. It's a struggle about freedom. The freedom to organize, the freedom of speech, the freedom of assembly, which we do here today. This is about our freedom to organize and our freedom to engage in the collective bargaining process. People get caught up in all of the little details, but remember the bigger picture. This is about your freedom and workers' freedom to have a say on their job and a voice in their life, and we're not giving that up. I also believe it is critical for people to understand there is anger in this country. There's economic insecurity. There's anxiety. There's a fear for the future as to whether someone will have a job or their kids will have a job. There is anger, but there are forces who are directing that anger in the wrong place. They're directing that anger at the working men and women of this country who provide the services on a daily basis, who get up in the morning and make sure when there's a snowstorm that you get to work and take care of the prisoners and the sick and the handicapped. They're not the enemy. They're the people that are providing us with a safe and civilized society. The anger should be directed at the corporate barons and the economic royalists and the frauds on Wall Street and the phony regulators that brought down this country's economic system. And that's why we're in trouble. We're not in trouble because people have got up every day and gone to work. We're in trouble because they almost ruined this country. And their minions in the media and the think tanks have directed the anger at the working people. This anger should be directed at Wall Street and the greedy corporate people who have almost ruined this society. If we could get everyone back to work, we would have no problem. And there's a message that we have to get people to understand. And it's been said by some of the other speakers. We have a middle class because of the American labor movement, of the people who sacrificed, who went on strike, who got shot, who got murdered, who walked on picket lines to make this a great country. They fought to make this a great country. And as the labor movement goes, so goes all working people. We have to make sure that the message goes out loud and clear that if the American labor movement and the Wisconsin labor movement or the Rhode Island labor movement is destroyed or broken up or weakened, it impacts the standard of living of every single worker in this state. They should be directing their anger towards Wall Street and their assistance to us to organize more workers, and that's what's going to make us a better country and a better state. I want to close with some remarks that were made many, many years ago by a minister in Germany by the name of Reverend Martin Niemöller. And he said, in Germany, they first came for the communists, and I didn't speak up because I was not a communist. They came for the Jews, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a Jew. They came for the trade unionists, and I didn't speak up because I wasn't a trade unionist. They came for the Catholics, and I didn't speak up because I was a Protestant. Then they came for me, and by that time, there was no one left to speak up. Now, there's a danger in using a quote like that, because in no way should we ever equate what is happening right now in Wisconsin or here or anywhere in the United States with what happened during the Holocaust and what happened in Nazi Germany. That would not be fair. However, the message is that when you see injustice, and you see inequality, and you see oppression, and you see tyrants, we, every one of us, has an obligation to speak up. And as we leave here today, you should leave with the pride that you spoke up for the injustices that are happening in our country today. God bless you, men and women of the American labor movement and the Rhode Island labor movement. Let's stick together and let's let everyone really understand what solidarity is forever. Thank you.
All right, everyone, let's end this rally with a chant. When I say union, you say power. Union! Power! Union! Power! When I say union, you say yes. Union! Yes! Union! Yes! When I say union, you say now. Union! Now! Union! Now! When I say union, you say power. Union! Power! Union! Power! When I say union, you say yes. Union! Yes! Union! Yes! When I say union, you say now. Union! Now! Union! Now! All right, let's go!
I have a whole host of people to thank. I'm not going to try and make it as quick as possible without keeping you too much longer. I want to thank the Rhode Island Federation of Teachers and their people, NEA, SEIU, the building trades, UNAP, Ocean State Action. I want to thank the AFL-CIO. I want to thank Paul Reed and the IAFF. I want to thank the Carpenters. I want to thank Rhode Island Probation and Parole, the International Federation of Technical Employees. I also need to thank, one more second, Jobs with Justice. They were instrumental in helping me put this rally together. They deserve a round of applause. They never get the thanks that they deserve. Thank you, Camille. I appreciate it. And finally, I want to thank all the people at Council 94 and the staff that helped me put this together. Without them, it wouldn't have occurred. Michael Downey, Lynn Loveday, John Burns, Gladys Gould, Tim Birch, Pearl Smith. The list goes on and on. Susan Peterson, Lucille Butterbaugh, everyone. Thank you very much.
We were here today, had a terrific turnout of private sector and public sector union members, as well as a lot of members from the general public, to show the support for the men and women of the labor movement in Wisconsin, who are right now under siege from a governor who is much less interested in solving problems than he is in destroying people's basic rights to engage in collective bargaining. This issue is more about freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, the freedom to collectively bargain, than it is about what percentage of benefits or percentage of salary people are going to pay for their benefits. If you're watching this, thank you for watching it, and keep watching Labor Vision. It's a great show.
Ken DiLorenzo from Rhode Island Council 94 asked me. I'm the executive director, and I want to thank everybody who came out to the rally in support of the Wisconsin workers and the public employee unions out there, and I want to thank everyone for standing up in solidarity and letting them hear our message.
I think that the issue in Wisconsin is very clear. It's about whether or not the workers have their union rights or not. It's not just about their benefits and their pension. The fundamental right to organize, to bargain collectively, to decide how their union and their organizations are run, that's what's at stake. And you know, working people at some point understand. In Wisconsin, interestingly enough, 61% of the people in the last poll backed the union.
I think 500 easily, you know, maybe a little bit more, but I think, you know, for something that was organized quickly, and the Council 94 did a terrific job pulling it all together. I think we showed the union spirit here in Rhode Island. Well, I think it sends a message, but I also think that people who both union and non-union people need to pay attention, because this is about workers and working families. And the people that are behind this in Wisconsin to take away workers' rights, they don't care about workers and working families, whether you belong to a union or not. So this would be not only a victory for unions, but for working people.
It was tremendous. I mean, we basically occupied this building, which was built with taxpayers' money. We were here to demand that we actually have a say over, our voices are counted as, agents in this society, that we not only deserve political voice in the society and the political structure, but we have to have an economic say, through our unions, through the really only voice that working class people have that's under attack right now. And we're no longer going to allow for the type of divide and conquer that has confused people and pitted communities against unions, because we know working class communities need unions. They've been under attack for a long time. And right now we're in the middle of an upsurge where we see the type of unity that we need to push back the greed and push back the inequality that has gone on for too long in this country.
It is. In states like Ohio and Indiana, the governors have introduced similar legislation to the bill in Wisconsin. Politicians would do well to understand that we, the people, can tell the difference between legislation that creates jobs and gives regular people the opportunity to prosper and build and gut workers' rights / vital public service. We cannot allow this attack on the American dream to continue. It's time for our government to work for a regulated Americans again. In short, it's time to rebuild the American dream.
Corporate bonuses are up, so everything's okay, right? Hey.
Get to that later.
Legislators can volunteer some of their salary, too. Let's end the war!
Our next guest speaker, what I'm going to do is, that was basically what various organizing groups that are co-sponsored to this rally have agreed upon. Now we're going to get personal opinions on the situation from a number of speakers. And I will end by doing a wrap-up and talking about the 5 biggest things that created economic hardship in America. Our first speaker
Enjoy rights that were fought for by every union member. That would have every right to vote for the union member. I talked to the Fox News the other night. They're trying to link us to terrorists, socialists, communists. We're not socialists, we're not communists, we're not terrorists. We're working people. We're teachers, we're plumbers, we're we're not going to let them take collective bargaining away from us. We're not going to let them take our rights away from us. It's time for every working person in America to stand up and fight corporate greed. Let's take our country back. This country was built on the back of the working man. United we stand, divided we beg. Thank you for coming, everybody. Hollywood!
Okay, our next guest speaker is Glenn Marshall, who works in a private sector union.
Sorry, folks, technical difficulties. Just a show of hands or yell. How many of you work in private sector unions? How many of you
our non-union workers that are here to support this cause. That's what I like to hear. Now, on the topic of Republican payouts, Wall Street gave out this December $144 billion in bonuses. At the beginning of December, 2 million out-of-work Americans almost lost their unemployment benefits. $144 billion is enough to pay those 2 million Americans a yearly salary of $72,000. That's more than anybody I know in a public or private sector union makes. Except for like the higher up, but we need that. Now I'm 20 years old. I have another 42 years to work in this country before I can retire in my union. Yeah, unless they increase it, but I mean, I like to work. I don't have a problem. Now, well, I mean, John McCain is pretty old. Now this attack, I'm not sure if it's really an attack, but what it is doing that most people don't realize is that the standard of living we have in this country is thanks to unions. Our weekends, our holidays, our child labor laws. I remember stories of my grandfather telling me when they moved here, immigrated from Ireland, that he would get woken up at 1 o'clock in the morning because it was his shift to go to work. I don't want that.
I've been scanning the crowd. I just can't see.
I didn't have to work until I was 16 years old, and it is thanks to unions for that.
Are you at the back or the front? Okay.
I believe that without collective bargaining, we become a group of people who have lost their voices. The voices that we earned. We didn't earn collective bargaining just because we signed a contract that made us union. We had to fight for it. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world. Over the past century, the lifestyle of all Americans, public, private, union, non-union, has increased thanks to our unions. And I firmly, firmly believe that if our government feels that the way that we're going to solve this debt crisis is through cutting collective bargaining from unions, then they have lost all connection to the people who elected them. I thank you all for being here, public, private, union, non-union. I thank you all for your solidarity, standing with Wisconsin, standing with Ohio.
They give tax credits to the corporations. We asked them to stop it. The Republicans filibustered and they fought it. They keep telling us, go find a job, you're lazy. You're un-American. You guys just heard that one recently.
That's propaganda.
It's not un-American to want rights. It's not un-American to want human rights. And it's not un-American to want my children to have the childhood that I had. Yeah! Don't give up your union rights. Fight! Because this is about America. Tell the Washington
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff.
Thank you for joining us for this evening's edition of Labor Vision. We appreciate your input and encourage your comments. Labor Vision can be seen 3 times each week here on Channel 14. Join us on Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Thursdays at 8 p.m., and Saturdays at 5 p.m. For nearly 30 years, the Institute for Labor Studies and Research has been growing unions and building futures. Since it first opened its doors on 15 Jefferson Street near the State House, the Institute has offered education and training programs to more than 125,000 working Rhode Islanders. In a rapidly changing economy, employers need a workforce that's able to adapt to change. The Institute is committed to offering programs that provide our students with the skills to meet the demands of this new economy. Our programs range from Worksite English as a second language and GED classes, Worksite Spanish targeted to more than 22 specific industries and professions, customized computer training ranging from beginner to advanced, national certification preparation classes in water distribution, and a host of other offerings designed to make program participants more effective at their jobs.
We were one of the first in Rhode Island, probably over 22 years or thereabouts. We had a number of nursing homes that it really made a difference in the lives of the workers in places where Spanish-speaking and Portuguese-speaking workers were able to pick up English as a second language.
Becoming proficient in English is going to help them progress in the union, in life in general.
It was the institute that we turned to teach our teachers how to speak conversational Spanish so that our teachers could communicate with the parents of our children.
3 decades has been working hand over fist to try and bring education and knowledge to ordinary working people, regardless of where they work.
To be able to do it at work takes a great burden off people, and the Institute provided the classes, provided wonderful teachers that understood where people were coming from.
Absolutely incredible the way she worked with the students. And she geared the whole curriculum around health and safety. Not only general health and safety, but she also took part of my curriculum that they need to have. We have to have 144 hours a year, and she utilized that and made it part of her curriculum.
Most recently, we have announced our partnership with the National Labor College in Silver Spring, Maryland, and the establishment here at the Institute of the Edward J. McElroy Satellite of the National Labor College to service members of organized labor throughout New England.
We can accredit apprenticeship training and couple those experiences and courses done in labor education.
Be able to actually have our kids go through school and actually qualify with our credits we get for the apprentice program.
So individuals now here in Rhode Island can get a bachelor's degree in labor studies right here in Rhode Island at the Institute.
I see people going on from simply taking a course here to going to the community college to get maybe a 4-year bachelor's degree while they're still working. And every once in a while, somebody comes down to URI and gets a master's degree in labor and industrial relations. That's what the labor movement's about, moving people up and forward.
The Institute has always considered education of union stewards and labor leaders to be one of its primary functions, and as such, has created an extensive list of course offerings such as basic and advanced steward training, labor relations and employment law, lobbying and political action, effective communication, negotiations and grievance training, and workplace health and safety.
I was fortunate enough to take some Spanish classes there, along with some postal workers. There were some laborers there, some teachers, and that was very helpful for my training in organizing.
The Institute has provided customized training for us for our building delegates who are known as shop stewards out there in the other world.
The benefit of having relationships with the unionized construction industry because of our substantial investments in things such as apprenticeship and training.
They need it for personal development, but more importantly, if the labor movement is to regain its vitality and to regain its strength, we need a level playing field.
We're very excited about our own Union Steward Seminar, which is coming up in a couple of months, and the Institute for Labor Studies is going to put the training on for us. That's one of the things that they do. They're always here to help labor.
Our Leadership for a Future program provides a leadership training environment for emerging and established leaders from community groups, labor unions, and religious community. Leadership for a Future also provides an opportunity for leaders from diverse groups and backgrounds to forge relationships and networks that will benefit themselves and their organizations through their lives.
What initially attracted me to the program was some of our leaders with the laborers. They had discussions with people at the Rhode Island AFL-CIO, and it was impressed upon me that this was a very important program, a new program that had a lot to offer, which happened to be the case.
When you look at Leadership for a Future, I mean, that says it all right there, is that, you know, in Rhode Island, we need leaders to step up to make us stronger in the future, and I wanted to learn how to be a part of that.
The leaders of the labor movement in Rhode Island are going to come from individuals who take courses in leadership and development here at the Institute.
If you want to learn from a group of faculty who will help you do the best you can and build all the skills you need to be a really effective community advocate, Leadership for a Future is the program for you.
The Institute for Labor Studies and Research has produced Labor Vision continuously since 1986. It is the only television show dedicated exclusively to covering issues that concern Rhode Islanders and their families. In addition to the regular coverage of a range of topics, Labor Vision each month chooses a current issue to explore in depth. Labor Vision interviews people on the street, on the job, and at conferences and meetings about the issues that matter to them. The Institute for Labor Studies and Research has trained more than 125,000 members of organized labor and working Rhode Islanders. We're very proud of that accomplishment, and we look to 125,000 more in the next 30 years.